I guarantee you guys, I promise you in today's video, I will convince you that network marketing or the multi-level marketing model is the single best model to grow through in 2023 going forward for both the company, the individuals growing the company, but also for us or an individual inside of the company looking to change their life through a compensation model. I will prove to you guys, we're gonna talk about all the benefits for both sides, so let's dig into it and let's talk about, is this a scam or is this your opportunity of your lifetime? Now, before we dig in, let's break down the ways to grow a company. You have affiliate marketing models, network marketing models, revenue sharing models, profit sharing models, and then the old school salary-based compensation model. Now take into consideration what a company's actually doing. They have to bring in revenue from selling a product or service, but they also have to pay someone to go out there and sell that product or service, meaning how is the company going to grow? Now the big difference is these different type of models relate to those two aspects. How the company is going to grow based off the dollars that they borrow or the dollars that they pay out, and how the revenue comes in and how these people make money to go sell the products or service in relationship to the revenue that they bring in. So let's break this down real quick, guys. Let's take a look at the old school model, the salary-based compensation model, those big buildings downtown, those massive liability intensive business models. Now, before I take you down the rabbit hole, the one thing I need you to understand is we're comparing business models on how it works for the individuals in the company and the company growing it, not depending on which product or service we're selling, because all those business models I just named can sell the same product or service, but we're gonna talk about the differences behind the scenes, behind the curtains. So we could be selling insurance, real estate, fitness supplements, makeup kits, it doesn't matter. We could be selling widgets. Let's just say we're selling widgets. How does this compare between the two models based off a couple characteristics or variables that we want to dig into? Number one being the risk to grow the company, how much money it takes to raise on the front side, can you go bankrupt, and what happens if dollars are not coming in on the front side, right? Number two, we're gonna take a look at scalability opportunities. In business, if you can't scale, you can't grow a big income, and that's the main goal of business owners, is to scale and scale efficiently. The third thing is we're gonna look at the performance of the employee. As a business owner, don't you want the best out of your employees? And if you're an employee, don't you want the best out of yourself to have the best respect for yourself going forward, knowing that you're doing something good with your life? And the last thing I want to compare on, guys, here is the international footprint and market share opportunities. So let's take a look at the first one, which is risk. The old school salary model is massively risky in comparison to the network marketing model. And here's the reason why. It's how they pay out their employees. If you're paying off a salary, what are you doing? You're going into a contract based off an interview. You're gonna come interview someone like myself. I'm gonna sit in front of you. I have a resume in the past, hopefully a good one. And you're gonna take a look at it and you're gonna say, based off the characteristics of this background on a piece of paper and based off a quick interview process with you, I'm gonna go into a massive risk with you and sign a contract to pay you X amount of money based off X amount of time. And my risk as a business owner is you perform well in an interview, but not well in business, or not well as your job, or doing the job as you have to do as an employee, if that makes sense. So what if I pay someone $100,000 to do X amount of sales? Like they have to go do 25 units of sales every year of whatever they're selling. Now we're halfway through the year and they've only sold 4. What does that mean for me? It means you're getting fired. I wasted a lot of time and money. I hired someone I shouldn't have, and you're gonna have to find a new place, and I'm gonna have to replace an employee, and all that money was wasted, okay? Keep that in mind for later when we talk about it on the other side. So, very risky to hire someone because you don't know the performance until they start performing, and guess what? What happens if you run out of money? So traditionally, you've heard of business startups raising hundreds of millions of dollars. They're building this up so they can operate the business, make the payroll. Now on the flip side, let's take a network marketing model. Let's say there's some widgets over here, you're paying them 100 grand a year to sell 25 widgets. Now on the flip side, you don't get paid for anything except your work ethic and if you perform well and you create value for the company, meaning you sell something and you bring revenue in. So on the network marketing model, in this model, you're getting paid for nothing up front. You have no guaranteed income. You're taking the risk as the individual within the company, but that's the benefit, which I'll explain here in a second. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna work on my time, my energy, my resources. I'm gonna put YouTube videos out. I'm gonna go out there and network in the marketplace. And if I sell a product or service, revenue comes in, okay? I sell a product, revenue comes in, and the company, instead of having money in the bank account waiting to pay me, they take money that comes in, all that revenue that comes in, they take a piece of it, they pay me, and the rest goes to the company. Now think about this really quick. Same person, working at the same company, being paid differently. Over here, they're being paid for their time. Over here, they're being paid for their performance. Now, being paid by performance means only when revenue comes in, they can get paid from it. So what does that mean for the company? They don't need any money hardly in their bank account to run the company as far as the sales force because they're only paying out from incoming sales of people that are working on their own. So it takes the massive risk that they have over here when they're paying off the salary model, meaning they have to pay regardless if that person's performing or not. Takes it off their plate. So for the company side, they have massive risk avoidance because over here, people are not working based off of payroll. Over here they are. They have to make this payout. Over here, only if they're getting paid based off the revenue coming in, if that makes sense. Now let's take a look at another comparison here real quick that's going to hopefully help you understand this. Scalability opportunities. You have to scale through having more money. You can't hire more employees unless the company's profitable. If the company's profitable, you're bringing in more money, or you're raising more money, now you can hire more employees because you have more money in the bank account. Over here, anybody can take an opportunity at this, unless it's an industry where it's regulated, where you need a license, and then there is a small barrier of entry. But over here, there's no scalability restrictions. You can go to your friends, your family, anybody in the world that wants a secondary income stream, or to treat it like a business and not a hobby, in their main income stream. So the point is, you don't have to hire over here based off dollars in a bank account, which means there's infinite scalability, because all you need is people that want to work on their own time and risk and go out there and swing for it to have a great career. If that makes sense. So no risk to grow through this side, massive risk to grow through this side. Now let's take a look at the performance of the employees. This is a big one. If you're a business owner, do you want the best out of your employees? Do you want them to swing for it, meaning give it all they got, be all they can be, right? Now in a salary-based business model, what are they playing for? To keep their job, to not get fired. They don't care if your business grows or not for the most part, unless they're smart and they want to rise the corporate ladder. But over here, the performance of the employee is going to be absolutely the minimal that they can do, because they're trying to keep their job but not overwork, because why work too hard to get paid for something where I'm not getting paid for it, if that makes sense. So in the employee-based world, it is very common mentality for employees to do the absolute minimum that they can do just to keep their job and not get fired. Now, how does that work for the business owner? Are they getting the maximum output of those individuals? What do they usually try to do? Bonuses, vacations, anything to inspire them to work harder, right? Now over here on this side, why would someone work harder than someone on this side who's capped at their salary rate? Well, there's no cap in network marketing. People like myself, people all around the world, we can make massive incomes, 6 figures a month, multiple 6, even 7 figures a month in certain companies. So what happens over here is this model attracts the elite of the industry. This attracts the high performance business entrepreneurs. The most successful entrepreneurs in the world understand that network marketing does not cap their efforts, that their future income comes from their work ethic, their heart, their belief system, and their personal initiative, and there's no capping them at $70,000 or $100,000. If they want to work 24 hours a day and they want to create a massive value for the marketplace, guess what? Their income is going to relate to it, and they can make millions of dollars a year. So for the performance of the employee, who's going to work harder? Someone that can make millions of dollars a year and get paid for it based off the relationship with effort and energy and success they put into business, or someone who's just kind of trying to float through life and barely get their check and hopefully not get fired, right? So think about that. As a business owner, who do you want working your business? The elite of the elite swinging for $1 million income, or people just trying to not get fired? Now here's the last one I want to give you. Market share capture, market share opportunities. And if you don't know this, the size of your market directly relates to the size of your business. Doesn't matter what you're selling. If you have a product locally that you're selling, you could possibly make $1 million. If you take that product nationally, like a hamburger stand, now you have one in every state, you can make multiple millions. You take that hamburger shop, like McDonald's globally, you're now making billions of dollars. Same product, same model, different market share capture opportunities. So let's take a look at the scalability opportunities of a brick and mortar based business model that's based off salary versus a network marketing model that's usually run through technology. Over here, to scale, what do you need? If you want to go into different marketplaces, go into a different country, go into a different state, you need to go through the entire legality process, figuring out how to launch there, getting everything set up with all the entities. Then you have to find a property, then you have to get the building, then you have to do all this, right? Then you have to have an area to do it. And this is not cheap. This costs tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and it is a big undertaking to possibly scale into a few different markets. Now think about on the other side with the network marketing model. Since you're not hiring based off dollars, and if you're using technology growing through, the internet, metaverses like you're seeing commonly now, think about how fast you can accelerate. Like a wildfire, you can go all around the world because you're signing people based off of not a building that needs to be built, but based off where they're presently at in the world. Doesn't matter, because they can run their business from the metaverse, from a cell phone, from their computer. So when you have the ability to have people that are not tied to brick and mortar buildings, and they're not tied to a geographical pinpoint on a map with a restrictive nature on how they operate, they can go global quickly. And since they're not tied to the dollars on which they have to grow, these companies can massively excel. So for example, the company that I'm at, even though eXp Realty is the fastest growing brokerage publicly traded, it's not a network marketing company, a lot of people see our revenue share model as a comparison with a 7-tier override structure to this type of business model. Now in just a handful of years, barely over a decade, this company's accelerated, getting up close to almost 100,000 individuals, which we're going to hit that target at some point in the near future. Right now we're currently almost at 85,000 agents, and when I joined the company, we were at 6,000 agents barely over 4.5 years ago. And now we're in over 20 separate nations, all around the world, and this is the accelerated growth that a metaverse like EXP really operates through, gives us the opportunity to grow through, and they can scale rapidly because they don't have to keep hiring people to scale the company. The sales force, the agent attraction force is done by us, individuals like myself, my partners, and other people in the company on our own effort, our own energy, but our incomes are not capped because I can assure you, myself, other people in the company are making massive, massive incomes, 6 figures a month or more in residual income, many of us. So you need to understand, this is a massive opportunity to come to the company, build a massive income, and build it on a global footprint without any of the risk of the old school model. So I hope this makes you guys understand there's a big difference between how companies grow based off salary, based off risk, based off all the different things we just talked about in comparison to over here. What would you want to do? Go to a company that gives you a worldwide opportunity, doesn't cap your income, and you don't have to worry about being fired because of payroll restrictions when the marketplace gets tough like we're going into right now. So just keep this in mind, guys. These are some big characteristic differences of business models, and I believe that network marketing, the MLM model or override system is the best model to operate in going forward in 2023 because of technology and metaverses. And if you don't think so, put a comment down below, guys. I'd love to know your contrary opinion. And if you do, I'd love to know your opinion as well. If I missed anything or you think anything else that would have been good to put in this video, go ahead and put it down there, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Let's go to the next video.